If you're 61 years old with 1.9 million saved, it might feel like you've crossed the finish line. You've worked hard, you've built up your nest egg, and now you're asking the big question, can I finally retire? The short answer, maybe, but the longer answer is a bit more nuanced, and that's what we're going to explore today. Because retirement isn't just about hitting a number, it's about making sure your money can support your lifestyle for the next 20, 25, even 30 years. It's about understanding how taxes, healthcare, inflation, and market changes can all impact your plan. And most importantly, it's about making confident decisions based on your unique situation. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 key things to consider if you're in this exact spot, if you're getting close and want to know what ready really looks like. Now let's get into it. Hi, if you're new here, my name is David Hike, financial advisor at DMH Financial Solutions. For over 20 years, I've worked with pre-retirees and retirees to help them create personalized financial strategies for retirement. And today, I want to talk to those of you who are standing right at the edge of that decision, wondering if your savings are enough to take the leap. Now, if you've got 1.9 million in retirement savings and you're 61, you're definitely ahead of the curve. But retiring isn't just about reaching a magic number. It's about making sure your plan is sustainable, flexible, and built to last. In this video, we'll break down the key questions you need to answer before you retire and how to start turning that nest egg into a reliable income stream. Let's dive in. 1. How much do you actually need each year? Before we talk about investment returns or how long folio might last, we need to start with a more fundamental question. How much money will you actually need each year in retirement? It's tempting to think that hitting a big savings number like 1.9 million means you're automatically ready, but your spending habits, lifestyle, and future goals are what really determine how far that money will go. Now, let's say you plan to spend $70,000 per year. That's one thing. But if your ideal retirement includes frequent travel, helping kids or grandkids financially, or owning a second property, your yearly expenses might be closer to $100,000 or more. Here's what I typically suggest to clients. Break your expenses down into 3 categories. Essentials, things like housing, groceries, utilities, insurance, and health. These are your non-negotiable. Lifestyle, dining out, hobbies, travel, entertainment. These make retirement enjoyable, but they're flexible if needed. Unexpected car repairs, medical bills, home maintenance. These are inevitable, but we often forget to plan for them. One helpful strategy is to track your current spending for a few months. That gives you a baseline to work from, and then you can adjust it based on your retirement lifestyle you're envisioning. Don't forget inflation. If you're spending $80,000 today, that same lifestyle could cost over $100,000 in 10 years due to rising prices. And then there's healthcare. According to recent estimates, a 65-year-old couple may need over $300,000 to cover medical expenses in retirement, not including long-term care. So it's wise to factor that into your annual needs, plan for it separately. This is where working with a financial professional can help. We can walk through a full retirement income plan, looking at what's realistic for your budget, your goals, and your peace of mind. Because ultimately, your savings don't exist in a vacuum. What matters most is how they line up, what you plan to spend. 2. What other income sources do you have? Now that you have a general idea of how much you'll need to spend each year in retirement, the next step is figuring out what income sources will help you cover those costs, besides your 1.9 million in savings. Because here's the thing, your savings aren't your only tool. Retirement often comes from multiple streams, and understanding how they all work together can help reduce the pressure on your investment portfolio. Let's start with the most common, Social Security. At age 61, you're just a year away from being eligible to claim Social Security early at 62. But just because you can take it doesn't mean you should. Claiming early can permanently reduce your monthly benefit by as much as 30% compared to waiting until your full retirement age, usually around 67. And if you wait even longer, to age 70, your benefit increases about 8% per year. So it's not just a question of when you can take it, but when it makes the most sense based on your health, longevity, expectations, and whether you need the income right now. You might also have other sources of retirement income, like a pension. If you worked for a government agency or a company with a defined benefit plan, this could provide a steady, reliable income. If you own investment property, monthly rent can act like a personal pension, but make sure to factor in maintenance costs and vacancy, part-time work. More and more retirees are choosing to work part-time, whether to stay active, pursue a passion, or supplement their income. Annuities. These can provide guaranteed income for life or a set period, depending on the structure. Just make sure you understand the fees and terms. Here's the big idea. The more predictable income you have, the less you'll need to withdraw each year from your $1.9 million portfolio. For For example, let's say you estimate your retirement expenses to be $90,000 a year. Now, if Social Security will cover $40,000 of that and rental income adds another $10,000, then you only need to draw $40,000 a year from your saving. That's a much more manageable target and may help your portfolio last longer. When we build retirement income plans for clients, we look at all these streams together, timing them strategically to help reduce taxes, maximize income, and extend the life of your portfolio. Because it's not just about what you have saved, it's about how you use it and how your other income sources fit into the picture. 3, can your savings realistically support your lifestyle? So now you've estimated how much you'll spend each year in retirement, and you've identified your other income sources like Social Security, maybe a pension or rental income. Now comes the big question. Can your $1.9 million in savings actually support the lifestyle you want 25 to 30 years or more? To help answer that, you've probably heard of something called the 4% rule. It's a general guideline that suggests you could withdraw about 4% of your retirement savings in the first year of retirement, then increase that amount each year for inflation. The idea is that, historically, this approach gave retirees a decent chance of not running out of money over a 30-year retirement. So, if you have $1.9 million saved, 4% of that is about $76,000 per year. Add in Social Security or other income, and you might be looking at total income that covers your need, or even exceeds them. But here's the thing. The 4% rule is just a starting point. It's based on historical data, not future guaranteed. Markets change, interest rates fluctuate, inflation can spike, and your personal spending habits may vary year to year. So, rather than relying on a fixed rule, I encourage clients to think in terms of flexible planning. Now ask yourself, are you comfortable adjusting your spending in a down market? Do you want to spend more early in retirement when you're healthy and active, and less later on? Would you prefer a more conservative approach that increases the odds your money lasts, even if it means spending a little less each year? These are the kinds of conversations that turn a simple withdrawal rule into a personalized income plan. Also, consider how long you might need your money to last. If you're 61 now, it's not unrealistic to plan for a 30 to 35-year retirement. Longevity is increasing, and if you're in good health, planning to 90 or even 95 isn't overly cautious. It's smart. Let's not forget about market volatility either. If the market takes a dip early in your retirement and you're withdrawing heavily, it can hurt your long-term outcome. That's known as sequence of returns risk, and it's one of the biggest threats to retirement portfolio. So while 1.9 million sounds like a strong number, and it is, the real answer depends on how you use it, how's it invested, and how well it aligns with your income needs over time. This is where working with a financial advisor can make a big difference. We run what's called a retirement income projection using conservative assumptions and different scenarios to help you see how long your money might last and where the risks are. That kind of clarity can help you retire not just with money in the bank, but with confidence that it's going to support the lifestyle that you've worked so hard to build. 5, have you factored in taxes and inflation? Let's talk about the two silent threats that can quietly eat away at your retirement income. If you're not careful with taxes and inflation, you might be thinking, I've got 1.9 million saved. What's the issue? Well, not all of that is yours to spend freely. If a large chunk of your savings is in tax-deferred account, like traditional IRAs or 401ks, then every time you take money out, a portion of it goes to the IRS. That means your real spendable amount could be significantly lower than the balance you see on paper. For example, let's say you withdraw $80,000 a year. Depending on your tax bracket, you might only keep $60,000 after taxes. That can really change your retirement math if you're not planning for it. And then there's RMD, required minimum distribution, which kick in at age 73. Whether you need the money or not, the IRS requires you to withdraw a certain amount each year and pay taxes on it. If your portfolio grows in the meantime, those RMDs can get pretty large, and so can the tax bill. That's why tax planning in retirement is just as important as investment planning. You might explore strategies like Roth conversions to move money from taxable to tax-free accounts over time, withdrawing from tax accounts first to delay touching your IRA or 401k. Charitable giving strategies to offset taxable income, even modest inflation, let's say 2 to 3%, can significantly reduce your purchasing power over a 20 to 30-year retirement. That's why you can't park your money in cash, ultra-safe bonds, and expect it to last. You still need some growth in your portfolio to pace with rising costs. So when you're thinking about whether 1.9 million is enough, make sure you're looking at the full picture after tax and after inflation, because That's how you protect your purchasing power and preserve your lifestyle. Can you retire at 61 with $1.9 million? The answer just isn't about the number. It's about knowing your spending need, mapping out all your income sources, structuring your investments the right way. If those 5 areas are in sync, you could absolutely be ready, or at least very close. But if there are gaps, or you're just not sure how it all fits together, now's the perfect time to get clarity. If you want a second set of eyes on your retirement, let's talk. Book a complimentary consultation using the link in the description below. I'll help walk you through the numbers, answer your questions, and give you a realistic view of what retirement could look like based on your personal situation. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe for more financial planning videos every week. See you in the next one.